Okay. Everyone that is involved doing great things, thank you very much for the opportunity and the privilege. As you would have heard, my name is Nunayon. I'm a minister of the gospel for the last 27 years. And out of that work, God gave me a burden, gave me I think it's a burden and it's a vision, and it's also a passion, which came out of my seeking the Lord of how we can bring the young people back into the church. Although when the vision came initially, I didn't understand it. I don't even know how to go about it. I didn't even know what I need to do until when I was able to support my own children, the two that God blessed us with, to start navigating them through life. And what we were able to do then, I started introducing it to some few parents. And here we are today, 10 years, we are still digging, we are still discovering, and we are still trying to do the best we can, trying to imparting, trying to change the narratives of the Black children. I think October, we're still in October, we had our national conference, and one of our speakers, who some of you would have known already, Dr. Osgood, I said something that made him to make a response, and his response is, he said that you might think that what you are doing is not something important or big, but for those of us that have been in this country for years, that have involved in education and ministry, we knew what you are doing. Because he now said something, he said, what you are doing is to change the narratives of the Black children, especially the Black boys. So because in the 80s, it was bad. And then as a result of that, there was a organization I think they started that organization that they call ICANN in order to help the Black boys. And when he said it, to be honest, I was encouraged, I was happy, and I trust God to continue and to always return the glory back unto him. Like Dr. Kelly has stated, the topic that was given to me was hope and future. And I want to tell us this morning, I'm going to rush quickly because of time factor, that there is hope and there is future for our children. Sorry, I need to take my glasses off because I can't see well. There is hope for our children in this unprecedented world that we are, in the situation that we are facing. There is hope for our children. And why did I say there is a hope for our children? Let's all look at Obama. Obama was inaugurated as US president 41 years after the death of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 41 good years. And not only after that death, after the last speech he made in Memphis, in Tennessee. That is when Obama became the president of the United States. Now, it took another 19 years after the march of Mr. Hackett and other civil rights leaders to have a Black female MP in UK. 19 good years. What am I trying to say here? There is hope and there is future for our children. Not only that, the first Black cabinet member was elected, the first Black cabinet member, was elected in 2002. But saying that, we had the first Black MP in 1832. We had the first Black MP in 1832, but the first Black cabinet member was elected in 2002. The Bible makes me to realize in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, he clearly says that there is, I don't want to quote it, but you can read it later on. He said, there is future, there is hope for every one of us, as long that we believe in God. There is future, there is hope. Even some people might not be Christians, but they still believe there is a supreme being somewhere. They still believe that there is somebody that controls the universe. These people, they also have future, they have hope. So, as a strong believer and proponent of saying there is hope, there is future for our children. How do we go about this? When we look at the story, some of us, if we knew the story of Obama very well, I'll be using him as a case study. I'm not going to use Mandela and host of others because he's the recent one. And like somebody says, if you are American president, is you are the world leader or whatever. Anyway, a couple of years ago, when Obama was inaugurated in 2009, in 2011 or 10, I can't remember precisely now, I was invited to a television program, a Christian network television program, to come and speak about young people and education. During that program, I met somebody that knew the history of Obama, and he shared it with us how Obama struggled even before becoming a senator and before becoming a president. Now, he told us the role that his education played in making him to become a senator and president. What was that role? Obama went to Columbia. Obama went to Harvard. And it comes to the time that these people that went to those universities in America, they decided to come together and to hold him. They decided to come and help him lift up his hand to say, this is one of us. It is time for him to be there. And at the end of that, he got there. Now that story did not finish there. About 3 years ago, while I was going from pastors, ministers, leaders, and talking to them how we can create platform for our children to become whom God has ordained them to become in this country. A pastor who used to be a lawyer, a civil rights lawyer, also told me the same story. In fact, his own children went to school in America. He told me the same story I'm telling you about Obama, the role his education played in his life to get to where he was then. How the big boys from those schools now decide to say, no, he's been putting aside because he's Black. But despite the fact that he's Black, he's one of us. Now, saying that, we in Kingsgen, we discover that our children, they need what I call qualitative education, not quantitative education. We are being sold a lot about quantitative education, not qualitative education. Let them go to school. That is what quantitative means. Let them give them the opportunity to go to school. But when they go to school, what do they achieve? What do they come out from school with? At the end of the day, where does it stop? So that is part of the things that we are trying to do in Kingsgen. We are trying to raise the aspiration of our children. We are trying to let them know that there is a seed of greatness in every child. All we need to do is to develop it and to help them to release those seeds. What we are doing is that we are strategically positioning our children for the 7 spheres of influence. And what are the 7 spheres of influence? We have government and politics, economics, religion, education, family, media, arts, entertainment, and sports. Hey, anyone that occupy the leadership in these 7 spheres of influence, they have mouth. They influence politics. No matter how many protests, recently there is a huge protest in my country that is still going on in Nigeria, but I watch all these things. I wrote on Facebook, I supported them, but the changes has not come. But they have forgotten, I, as a person talking to you, I used to be a Christian student leader. and I was incarcerated in the police cell for 30 days in Nigeria in the 80s, fighting for the same thing that they are fighting for now. But there is no changes. But until we have the right leaders that can influence the policy, that can influence the policies, and that is the same thing we are saying here. For us, it is good we have Black Lives Matters and every other things that you can think of. But if we don't have our people in the places of authority, in the places where politics can happen, in places where they can carry the majority, we might still be far away. But all I knew that there is a hope, there is a future, because one day we will reach that place. And for us to reach there, that is why we are doing what we are doing now. We are helping the children to receive qualitative education. That is the beginning. That is the foundation. When you look at the history, out of the I think it's 55 or 54 PM in this country, over 44 of them went to independent school, private public school. I'm talking of prime minister, sorry, not MPs, prime minister. Out of 55 in this country, since the whatever time they started their prime ministership, 45, exactly 45, went into private school. It is just 10 out of them that did not go on fee-paying school. It is on the internet, Wikipedia. Not only that, the 10 that did not go to private school, 5 of them went to where? They went to grammar school. Just only 5 that did not go to grammar school. And let me shock you. I know that many of us that are from African, Caribbean heritage, we support the Labour Party and the Left Party. Now, let me tell you something. The present leader of Labour went to private secondary school, and hosts of many. Now, if they have done that, what are we doing? Some of these people at the same time, I have the history of them, they are sending their children into these schools. They are the same people that are condemning private school, independent school, and grammar school. But at the back, even our own brothers that are in Labour, I have their record. It was also in the newspaper. It was in public domain. They are sending their children to these schools while they are condemning these schools in the parliament. Friends, it is time for us to rise up and try to prepare the future for our children. They have occupied the place today. Because they have occupied it, and as the system works, they will continue placing people like them to those places. They will continue, people that are in the club, people that went to the school. It is not only in politics, even in the corporate world as well. I've heard of testimony of people that were offered jobs because they went to certain schools in this country. Not only this country, in America as well. So as an organization, we do a lot of activities and programs to help to position our children. We have what we have, normally we say catch them young, arrest them when they are still very young. We have a debating, public speaking and mentoring club for the children that are from age 8 to age 12. We have a mentoring that we call from classroom to boardroom for the children that are older from age 14, whereby they will be equipped with leadership skills. They will be equipped with entrepreneurship skills, with life skills that can help them. You see, I'm not saying that every child will have the opportunity to go to a private school or grammar school. I'm not saying every child will have the opportunity to go to Oxford or Cambridge. But what makes these schools different? Things that they make these schools different, they can acquire it outside those schools if they don't have the opportunity to go to those schools. That is what the Kingsgen is for. Our own is to equip and empower them with those things that are, for instance, some of you would have read some books that written things that are not being taught in Harvard, business skills that are not being taught in Harvard. There are a lot of things that are not being taught in some schools that you can acquire it as a part of personal development outside. There are a lot of things that they are doing in these top schools that we know, we have been there, we've seen it, that we are taking it into our community, to our children, to prepare them for the future. Because there are some occasions that you will get to, there are places you will get to that all they want to know is your skills. What can you offer? What do you have? There is place in the book of Exodus. It said there was a time that there was a king who did not know Joseph. A time is coming that we're going to have PMs, prime minister, MPs that do not believe in structural, what do we call it, racism, that they will stop it and reduce it. Racism in whatever form it might be institutional, it might be structural. A time is coming that some people will say, no, enough is enough. We have to stop this. Now, when those things are stopped, and we have the opportunity to come in, and we qualify to come in, do we have the right skills to do the job? For us to know that that is coming, we have to start today. We have to start preparing now. And that is what we are doing for our own children at the moment. We take them to Osbridge twice in a year for them to stay there and see the Black children of their own color from council estates, to know that if these young people can be here, we can be here as well. We create link where they sit down together, they talk together, they see those of them playing football, bossers, and all those things, just for them to know that because I'm playing football or I'm a bosser does not stop me from going to these top leading universities. We do program where we bring speakers to talk about American universities, Ivy League. It is even cheaper to go to Harvard than going to Cambridge. It depends on what your income is. And by the grace of God, we have 2 students now, by the grace of God, that are in Columbia and Harvard, out of the people that have gone through our programs. A lot of other things that we do, we take them to corporate organizations. We've been to a lot of stock of exchange, just to them to see, let them get into the environment. Let them see what the environment is so that they can start dreaming. We have supplementary school, Saturday schools that can equip all these children. Recently, there is a program that I took 60 children through, young people. We call that program 18X. 18X is a program that 18 started just to equip children. It is a very expensive program. They only sell it to international countries and some of these other independent schools. But during the coronavirus, they decided to extend it to the state schools. But not every state school took that opportunity. But because of the link that God has given to us with 18, we were able to run for it, get it, we got it, and we gave it to our young people that are ready. That program also exposed the character of some of our young people. A doctor was sharing with me 3 days ago about her experience trying to support our young people. Some of our young people, we still have a lot of work to do with them. Some of them don't know how to talk officially, how to talk in an official, or how to write an official letters. That is my own experience through 18X. But as for me, I don't take nonsense. I have to correct them. I have to ask them to rewrite the letter again before they can enroll on the course. That is what I did. Some of them did not come back. which I am very happy with because I want to work with serious students. Some of them, I contacted their parents and their parents were able to influence them to take the corrections. And the honest truth is that, I will be honest with you, some of these children is because they don't know that it is wrong. Some of the things they do, they don't know that it is wrong. They just thought that it is the norm. The way they talk to people, they just thought that it is no. Because I can say to you, a parent, if Dr. Kelly won't mind, his son was one of them. But he told me that this is this boy, and thank you that you let him know. But do you know that that boy is one of the best students I had? But what he did not know that it was wrong. He just thought that it's acceptable. And not only him, quite few people, one among them. So I had to bring them back that, look, this is how it's going to be. And the doctor told me that she was interviewed them in order to offer some of them scholarship to university. Do you know that one of the ladies was lying on her bed and was doing interview, not knowing that that is bad? So in order not to take your time, there are a lot of things. We have a lot of work to do with our young people. But in conclusion, all I want to say is that there is future. There is hope for all our children. We don't need to give up on them. They are all good children. They just need somebody to help them. They just need somebody to support them. They just need somebody to hold their hand. I have a lot of examples that I won't have time to tell you about these young people that I've worked with. They just need support and help. Even those of them that are going to the best school. Westminster, I have young people in Westminster 6th floor, but I still have to point them to start doing the right thing.